I'm Hunter.
This is the Family Showdown!
Howdy folks, today we're looking at our top 10 Grail games. This is games that we really want, but for one reason or another we just can't quite get them. It could be old games that are out of print from maybe our childhood. It could be games that are super expensive or super rare. It's just games that we want, but for whatever reason we can't get them.
Okay, a couple of mine are probably highly attainable because they're not like super rare or anything. We just haven't gotten them. But I have a whole list of like it's a mix.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see what we got.
Yeah.
You gonna start us off? Oh, you want to do honorable mentions first?
I have a couple.
All right.
I think.
I have a couple as well.
All right.
Well, my first honorable mention is the original Coliseum game.
That's actually mine too.
That's
funny.
I think they just kickstarted a reprint of it, but the graphic design is a little weird, so we'll see how that turns out. But I would really love to get my hands on one of the original Coliseum games.
Yeah, that's actually my honorable mention too, because it just sounds really neat. It looks really fun.
Well, I have a couple others, so I guess I'll keep going. Another honorable mention is, it's not a very good game, but I just have fond memories of it. It's a game called Solar Quest from the 80s. It's like a Monopoly game in space. So you're purchasing planets and you're traveling around. I just remember playing it and loving it as a child. And I'm sure it's just a terrible game probably, but it brings back such great memories of as a child of playing this game. It has like little metal pieces, and it's just a really interesting little game. But it's basically just a Monopoly variant. It's not Monopoly, but it's very much like Monopoly.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my last honorable mention is Heroescape, the epic humongous tile game of miniature fighting. You have these humongous castles and big clunky miniatures, and you just duke it out. And it looks like a really fun game, but crazy expensive. I hear you can find them occasionally at yard sales and places like that and get lucky and get them cheap. But otherwise, it's off the charts expensive because it's out of print. They don't make it anymore. They do have a kind of a Heroescape-ish game, the Planeswalker game, the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker game or something like that.
Yeah.
That came out, but it's really very small scale, not very many different miniatures. Kind of gives you that feel, but definitely not on the epic scale of Heroescape.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. I'm intrigued now.
You want me to start? You start.
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
I mean, it's tradition, right?
Yep.
Because then you can forget what number we're on.
Yes.
Okay. My number 10 is a very random game, sort of, and it's called Vampire Radar.
Oh, I forgot about this one.
And it's a really fun little cheesy game, and you have one person who's the vampire, and the rest of you are using like radar, R-A-D-A-R, to like try to hunt down the vampire. So you're getting clues and stuff as to where he's moving and everything, and he's moving around the board as we play. And it was it was the first game, wasn't it? We played with Z Garcia at the Dice Tower. And it was a riot, and we all got into it and had a really fun time. But it is really rare, and it's from some obscure publisher, and apparently you have to like know Japanese to order it, so it's been impossible for me to track it down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that one, but yeah, it's only printed in Japan, and you can order it from some little toy store, but they don't do international shipping, and we're hoping it'll get picked up. But what it is basically is a very light introductory game to the hidden movement group of games. Yeah, that was a blast to play that game. It's funny. I didn't even think of that one.
The box is even funnier too because it's not even spelled correctly. It's Vampire Radar. I don't know what it is.
R-A-D-E-R. Yeah, they misspelled it in English.
Yeah, so it was just really funny, and it's a real simple little game. I mean, it's one of those that you could almost make yourself kind of. I mean, the simplicity of it is great, but it's, oh my gosh, what a riot. Yep. So just a fun little game to play.
That's a cool one. I didn't think of that one. That one I didn't even pop in my head. That's a good one. My number 10 is Small World Designer Edition.
Ooh.
This thing is off the charts beautiful. It has a big board. It has 3D mountains. They have
No way.
when you get your characters, they're in little wooden cases. It is just way overproduced, way crazy good, and
Yeah, because the game's really pretty simple.
yeah, it's. I think they did a limited run of them, and it was really expensive. But they do have a copy at Dice Tower Con. If I don't check it out, I want to see it in person. But it's you have to see it. It's just imagine Small World 3D and just wooden and just metal coins. You have a little coin bag
No
with
way.
metal coins, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just crazy.
Now I want to look this up because I hadn't even seen that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Oh man, my list is
I'd
so
love
lame.
I'd love to play it. I don't know if I want to pay the money to get it, but I'd love to play it one time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome.
I guess that's why it's a Grail game, right?
There you go. My number 9. Who knows? Maybe someday it'll be attainable. I always thought it'd be a riot to have one of those 3-dimensional chess sets that they have in the Star Trek.
Oh
show,
yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
and they actually make them
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And I'm sure I want to get the cool, like tricked up, real neat version of it.
Yeah,
of
with the
course.
little glass level
Yes.
layers and
Yes.
the metal with the
pieces and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
super neat one.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one.
So that's number 9. So I'm 9.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 9 is Mega Civilization. So what this is just imagine a Civ game, but the board is like as long as a cafeteria table,
Good grief.
and you it's like I think it plays up to I want to say 10 or 20 people, but it's massive.
Oh my gosh.
And when you trade, it's like pit trading. You actually call out how much you have to trade and what you're trading, and you yell down the board and you're trading, and it's just
Oh my
it's a
gosh.
riot. And a game can take like 16 hours to play or something like that.
How would you get
And it comes
that big?
it comes in this humongous wooden crate that it comes in. Mega Civilization, my number 9.
I'm just trying to figure out, not only will we be able to get that game, is how on earth we get to play that game.
I don't know. It's kind
16 hours?
It's kind of a convention only thing.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
Mega Civilization.
Seek us out at a convention, and we will schedule this. That sounds
I
amazing.
think they have a copy at BGG Con.
What?
Yeah.
See ya. All right, so number 8. My number 8. I have no idea if it's any good, but I stumbled across them, and apparently there's all sorts of expansions and special ships and random things that you can add to this. And it's Starfleet Battles, and it was done
Oh yeah.
I want to say it was like the 80s, and early 80s too, I think.
Yeah.
And they had a whole bunch of extra ships and extra expansions and this and that and all sorts of things you could add to it. And it looked like it was pretty intense, like an actual war game. And I usually don't like war games, but I could sink my teeth into a Starfleet war game.
Yeah. I don't
that
know.
world I would be able to get.
I don't know. I don't know much about that one, but I know it's
Yeah.
very tactical and very
Yeah.
very detailed.
Yeah, it just looks and sounds really cool. I don't know what it is about that, but I was like, man, okay, I want to at least see it and try it out at some point because it just sounded really cool.
Yeah. I think I've seen it, but I really don't know much about it other than it is a true kind of war game where
Yeah.
you got to rotate your ships and you're facing and all this
Yeah,
other
just
stuff. So.
crazy stuff, and I'm like, that would be kind of fun to try.
Yep. That's an interesting one. Yeah.
Yep, so I'll try that one.
So my number 8.
Number 8.
My number 8, any child from the 80s either played this game or wanted to play this game. And I did play it a few times, and it's called Crossbows and Catapults.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh!
So it's this.
Yes!
It's kind of, I think it's only 2-player, but you're on. You set up your castle in a distance from each other, and you have these little crossbows and like catapult looking things that fling discs at the other castle, and if you hit them just right, pieces of the castle comes popping off. It's spring loaded. You actually spring load them. It's an amazing, just crazy fun. I don't know.
Yeah, blowing stuff up as a little kid. We would have played that for hours. My brother and I would have
Yeah,
played
and I don't
that.
think
That
I
would
ever
be-
owned the game. I played it with friends, but I would do my own version of flicking, like whatever I could flick it. I would build.
Oh, yeah,
me
just
and my
build
little
stuff
brother
and
would build stuff, and
flick
we'd flick
things
things at it, try and knock it down. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
that was an amazing.
See, if I had known about that, I don't think I knew about that game at all when I was a kid, but if I had known, holy
Yeah.
cow, my brother and I would have wanted that game so bad.
Crossbows and catapults.
That's awesome. All right, my number 7. Huge surprise, I'm sure. Glory to Rome. I don't even know do they print it or anything.
It is ultra rare, ultra expensive. I think.
Yeah.
I saw one auctioned at BGG Con at the Nerd Night auction. I think it went for $200.
Oh, see there. That is why it's on my ground. So it's 64 AD, Nero, fire, Rome, and all that, and you're basically, from what I understand, building up resources and things so that you can rebuild the city. So it's resource management and this and that, and it's the theme that, of course, obviously I love, and it's some mechanisms that I like, and it sounds like a really cool game. It seems to get really good ratings, so I wanted to try that one.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I mean, I haven't done a lot of research, obviously, because it's not very readily available, but it's a pretty complex game from what I hear, and it's very detailed. But it's
it sounds really cool. It sounds very thematic.
But it's also a card game. It boils down to just a card game. So
my cards, look at that. It's like winning on all fronts, except for that whole price point availability thing.
I don't know. I mean, that's what it's sold for. I don't know how available it is, and if you can find used copies or how it works. But yeah, I know it's the black box version of it is like ultra rare. I don't know if there's a different version that's not the black box version. I don't know. I don't know that much about it.
I just know I can't find it. There
all right. So my number 7?
Yep.
My number 7 is Dark Tower. So there's this tower. It's a little electronic tower game, and you move your pieces around, and you push buttons on the tower, and it tells you what happens. It is
so corny.
80s. It screams 80s, but the game is it's not that another it's not that great of a game, but it has so much nostalgia for me that I played this with a buddy from college. We played it all the time, and it was just a fun game to play. But now it's just so hard to find them that work. I mean, you can find versions of it, but usually the tower, something's wrong with it, or it doesn't work, or whatever. But finding a complete set of that would be epic.
That'd be pretty cool.
So my number 7, the electronic board game, Dark Tower.
Very cool, very cool. My number 6 is a game that I at least watched people play it. I was pretty little when they had it, but I remember. No, I think I did help play it, and it was called Stop Thief. And my family had it and loved it, and I just remember because it also was the 80s thing where you push, you did certain things, then you push a button and it like give you sound effects, like so you hear footsteps if the thief walked away or something, and you're trying to track him down, and it was a hidden movement game, I believe, and you're sleuthing and stuff, and it was the sound effects, and you'd hear broken glass and all sorts of fun stuff, and it was, I don't know what it was about that game, but I remember it vividly. The sound effects and different things for that game. I think it'd be really fun to play.
That's another one that's hard to find that still works. I mean, you can find it, sometimes find it, but it doesn't completely work.
It was a cute idea, adding the little sound effects and stuff to that. So, Stop Thief.
So my number 6, I'm looking at the rest of my list and seeing how this one is one of the few on my list that's readily available. It's just so expensive. And it's almost like, I don't know how much, it's one of those games that if I bought it, I don't know how often I would play it. But I would love to get TI3 and all the expansions. I would love to get TI3 and all the expansions. I don't know what that face was for. But the game is long. You need at least 3 or more players to play it, and probably it plays better with even more than 3. I just don't know if it would. I don't know if I could justify spending $200 or $300 on a complete TI3 with all the expansions, and it never hit the table. So.
Oh, it hit the table. I don't know how, but it would hit the
table. Exactly. You don't know how. Exactly. That's the point. Getting 4 or 5 people together to play a ultra complex game,
12-hour game
for 6 to 8 hours. That I'm more likely to win the lottery than having that to happen outside of a convention or something like that. But then they would be having the game, or the convention would have the game, right? It's TI3 complete. My number 6.
All right. See, this is one of my probably readily available games now because I think it's out now, and it's Star Trek Panic.
Oh yeah, you can buy that anywhere now.
See, now it's available and stuff. But I knew eventually it would happen. I just haven't gotten it yet, obviously. But it's like Castle Panic, but they made a Star Trek version of it, and from what everybody says, it's really cool. And you have the Enterprise, and you actually move it to adjust your shields to how you're, surviving these assaults from different sides and angles, and it looks awesome. And it's actually a good Star Trek game, and there's a rare to come by, and so I'm very excited about that.
You heard it here first, folks. The Grail game will be acquired at Dice Tower Con. So you can mark that off your list.
That's very exciting. So
my number 5?
Check.
My number 5?
Yes.
My number 5 is Hero Quest. I'm dating myself, but this came out when I was in college, and we played this, and played this, and played this, and played this until we couldn't play it anymore. It's an awesome dungeon crawl game with one person plays the kind of the overlord or whatever you want to call it, dungeon master, and everyone else are playing heroes. And it has these awesome 3D, big 3D miniatures for like furniture. It has like little bookcases and like torture devices, and the little doorways have little openings and all these different miniatures. It's just it was just a really awesome game. It's obviously out of print, hard to find. They don't make it anymore.
What were they made out of?
The
pieces.
Plastic.
Okay, so they were pretty sturdy. And...
They're big, heavy plastic miniatures and bookcases, and it just you set the board up, and it just looks really cool with all these different. It looks like you're in a dungeon because it has all the furniture and things. It's just a great little dungeon crawl game. I mean, it boils down to a roll dice and kill monsters game. But
you got the 3D element.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff
just
now.
it looks really cool when you have it set up. So
that's pretty.
And this is a lot of people's Grail games. Hero Quest.
I can see why. Yeah, it's too bad that they don't reprint that. Then I wonder why.
It's a generic 80s game. I don't know why there's so many bigger dungeon crawls now, like Descent and.
That's true. I'm sure it's dated and stuff. Whatever. But hint, someone out there should take that idea. All right, so what are we on? Number 4, huh?
Number 4.
I suspect you've heard this one before. Gee, it would be really nice. I don't know how we'd get to play it, but I would really like to get Twilight Imperium 3 and all the stuff with it, because I, unlike some people in this room, have never gotten to play it, and all I hear is ranting and ravings about how awesome it is.
It is an amazing game.
And then it's an amazing game. See? And I got to spend 6 to 8 hours playing this, blah, 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 and I haven't gotten to play it, and I want to play it. Just looking at it, yeah.
It really is an epic space game, and honestly, if I had a regular play group that could play this very often, this would probably be my favorite game of all time. But I can't justify.
I know that's like
calling it that when I played a partial game at a con. We didn't even play a full game.
Well, you would have, but you guys were like, it was done. It was over.
We started like at 10 o'clock at night, so like 2 or 3 in the morning. We're like, okay, and I had an insurmountable lead at that point, so we called it.
That's why you like
TI3. But no,
it's cool.
No, it is.
But you have your own unique races, and they all do unique things, and you're going off, and it's, again, an open world thing where you can decide to colonize or attack, from what I understand.
Yeah, you can attack. There's different ways. Basically, it has different ways of getting missions. Some are political, some are taking over territories, some are killing other people's ships. It just gives you goals come out as you go along of different ways to make points, and you have a goal of points to get like 10 or whatever, and you can do it, you achieve it in many different ways.
So we're going to be selling a bunch of our games soon in order to make room and money for TI3.
All right, so where am I at? 4?
4.
My number 4 is another game from my childhood that I played to death, and that was the Milton Bradley's version of Conquest of the Empire.
Oh my goodness.
I think Rebecca would like this game. It's a Roman-themed game. It's basically... If you took Risk and kind of gave it a Roman theme to it, because you have you take over certain territories and you build roads between them, and it has like little plastic roads that you put between the different territories. And then when you have roads, troops can move quickly to different places to fight, and you build up your cities, and you build fortification around your cities to make it. It's all little plastic miniatures. It has tons of catapults and cavalry and little troop guys. and you have these little plastic coins that have Roman coins that you
Oh my
have
gosh.
for money. And it was just me and my brother and one of his best friend at the time. We played this game over and over and over and over and over again. And I would love to get a copy. Just for again, looking back, it probably wasn't that great of a game. It was basically,
but it sounds that great.
but it just has so many memories from playing that game. Just so much. I mean, I think one summer we probably played it 40 or 50 times. In one
Oh yeah,
summer.
why not, right?
It was just a great. Like I said, it was like Risk, but more. So it was just a really...
Yeah, it sounds pretty thematic, too. It sounds really cool.
It was a really cool game. You had little ships. You could take your troops around on ships. And it was a really cool little game.
That's pretty awesome.
From the 80s.
The 80s.
There's a newer version of it that you actually can get, Conquest of the Empire,
really?
I think. I don't know if it's in print, but it's just easier to get. But everything I've heard, it's not as good of a version. The miniatures aren't as good, or I don't know. But anyway, the one I played was the Milton Bradley version.
Don't make them like they used to. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Conquest of the Empire, my number 4.
Pretty cool. My number 3 is, I'm pretty sure it's not made anymore, but I always thought it was really cool. I saw a review of it on TV, and then we actually got to play it at BGG Spring, and the girls ended up making it one of their favorite games, and they played it to death. And that was the Wacky Wit, a.k.a. Pac-Man game.
Yeah.
And it's the video game, and somehow they managed to make it a board game. You have 2 handles on the sides, and you actually lift up, and it pulls all the pegs up that Pac-Man eats. And he actually jumps, he's a little tiny, light foam little Pac-Man, and as you move him, you push down the pegs that he eats. It's really cool. And the ghosts are hollow, so that when they move, they don't push down the little pigs that he eats. And when you're done, you just lift it up, and it pulls all the pigs back up, and you can do the maze over and over. And when you get in the middle, then you send the ghosts out, and you roll the dice, and that determines how much you move each time, and you can determine your direction from there.
Yep.
And it's so cool. It's like playing Pac-Man, which I just, for nostalgic purposes, I played tons of Pac-Man as a kid. And it was really fun to see the girls get into that too, because they loved it. And it's just a really cute version of the video game. I've never seen anything quite like that either. And of course, they don't make it. So
yeah, I don't know if they make it anymore. I don't think they make it or not, but
I don't think so. I can't remember if I looked this one up or not. But
yeah, even if it didn't, I know it's really expensive to get either way. Even if it
because it's really neat. It's really well made, because the game board's probably like yay thick, because it's got whatever mechanisms in there to help lift all the little pellet peg things up in it. And it's a pretty cool game. So that's fun.
All right, so
Wacky
my number
Wit.
3.
Number 3.
Number 3. My number 3 is the 1999, being specific, because there's like dozens of versions of this game. The 1999 Avalon Hill version of Acquire.
Okay, why so specific, sir?
Well, you can get Acquired these days.
Yeah.
It's a current game. It's still in print.
Okay.
But what the concept of the game is, you're building up hotel chains.
Okay.
And as you build up the chains, it's a grid-like board that you're putting your little hotels on, and if the hotels ever touch, the bigger hotel consumes the other hotel and becomes one big hotel chain. So you're building up hotels, but you got to be careful where you attach them, because if you have a small hotel chain that lands, it touches the big one, that one's going to take over the other one. And basically it's a stock game as well. Not only are you putting tiles out, but you're also getting shares of stock and things like that. The reason the Avalon Hill version is better, because the hotels are big, clunky plastic hotels, actually 3-dimensional hotels that you put on the board.
Okay, now that would be fun.
And like I said, the current version is little cardboard chits that you put on the board, but the Avalon Hill version has these big plastic hotels. So that's I think that and what's I played this game. I played this game when it originally came out, and at the time, and I was like, "Oh, this is an amazing game." But I really wasn't into board gaming that much. But I just loved the game to play it. So,
which is funny, because you still, now that we've talked about it and stuff too, it's funny because you were still way more into board gaming than I was. It's really
I've been in
you
board
were
gaming.
in and out of board gaming a lot.
Yeah, I pretty much played board games.
Yeah, off and on.
Off and on since forever.
Yep.
There you are, the 1999 Avalon Hill version of Acquire.
That's funny. Interesting. All right. My number 2 I think I put these as my 2-in-1 for price point purposes and the fact that they might actually be more likely to get played than some of the other stuff. But I saw, for my number 2, Ticket to Ride did a 10th anniversary, souped up, fancy schmancy, beautiful, monstrously huge box collector's edition set.
Yep.
And it's Ticket to Ride. So how fun would that be, to have all the tricked up fancy stuff? And I think the trains are bigger. The map's bigger, too, by a lot, right?
The board's bigger. The trains are little. I think they're metal.
They're actually...
Are they metal? But they're beautiful. I don't know if they're metal, but they're really nice.
And they're unique. They're not,
yeah.
they're not the cookie cutter. They're all the same cars. They're, the cool cars look like coal cars and things like that. I mean, they're really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the god-awful price point for that, but...
It's about $100.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Is that all?
It's about $100.
Good luck finding it, though, at $100 now, I'm sure.
No, I think it's still
Is
in...
it still
I
out?
think it's still in print. I think you still can find it, but still it's $100 for...
for a game that we already have.
Yeah, for a game we
So,
already
obviously, we're not going to go out and just randomly buy this game, but it's really pretty and it sounds fun, and it's something that we do pull out Ticket to Ride quite a bit, especially with people that haven't gamed a lot, and because it's really fun and easy to pick up.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful version of the game. I just don't know if... It's
Yes,
hard to
it's-
justify buying a game.
you
It's
can't,
it's exactly the same game other than aesthetics, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just really pretty. A pretty version. Pretty
Yeah.
sparkly version. So, hence,
So it's my number 2?
yes.
You want to say it at the same time? Because I know what your number 1 is. You ready?
Oh, man.
War of the Ring Collector's Edition.
Go ahead.
So, I don't know how long ago it was, but they came out with a War of the Ring Collector's Edition with beautiful pre-painted miniatures and beautiful everything and beautiful beautifulness. And it is crazy expensive, limited number, no longer printing them as far as I don't think they're...
I think they did it and they're done.
They sold them all, now they're
I think
done.
they're done.
And it was, at the time, I think it was $350. I think they're running about $2,000 now. Beautiful version of the game, one of our favorite games.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh.
And I saw it when it was available. I just could not, justify paying that much money for a game we already have, because again, it's the same game other than it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just off the charts. The miniatures are beautiful, the board's beautiful, everything's just amazing.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and the game was already beautiful to begin with.
Right.
So, I mean, it just sends it above and beyond. I don't even know where we would store that game. Because didn't it all come in separate...
Put it on display and
we'll
leave
have
it
the
up.
War of the Ring Museum in our game room. Yeah. So there you go. Hence why it's on the Grail list. And now you know my number 1. So what's your...
My number 1 is...
Wait. Has it been mentioned?
No, it has not.
Ooh, I'm very intrigued then. Okay, go ahead.
It is Blood Bowl 2nd Edition.
I should have known.
The game I played when I was a younger person. And it came, the Blood Bowls that came, I think, later on than after the 2nd edition. The 2nd edition came with this, styrofoamy board, that football field that has, it was textured.
No way.
And you had, the end zones have little places where you could put the team names in. And it comes with all these tons and tons of miniatures and just an amazing version of the game. They're reprinting it. I think it's coming out supposedly next year sometime. The miniatures look amazing, but it just doesn't
have the same.
It just doesn't seem as good. I don't know. And the miniatures that came in the Blood Bowl 2nd edition. They weren't painted, obviously, and they were plastic, but they had different color. Every team had a slightly different color to them. The way it looks like the Blood Bowl that's coming, the new version that's coming out, it's going to be it looks like a Games Workshop. They all come. All the same color. They're very unpainted and generic looking. So if you don't paint your miniatures, it's going to look horrible. So I don't know if, and I just don't know. I don't really have the skill to paint them, and I don't have the time to paint them. But they're all going to be the same color. I guess you could spray paint them different colors and just
do a base coat and then later on trick it up.
And it's going to be crazy expensive. I think it's going to be $100-ish for the base game, and you only get 2 races. And each race, who knows how much they're going to charge for each
Oh.
expansion pack of that. But I would love to get that version of the game because it came with orcs and humans and a couple other, like 3 or 4 races in the box. You didn't have to buy expansions or anything. I think it had 4 races in the box, I want to say. And
They should still do that.
I think they had orcs, humans, elves, and one other race that came in the
They had
box.
little goblins or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but Blood Bowl Second Edition. Me and again my brother and his friend, we used to play this all the time when we were kids. It was just a really really fun game. We'd have one-off matches. We'd have big tournaments. We'd have all sorts of things
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
that'd be fun.
And I still play the Blood Bowl video games, just trying to get that feel again. But I'd love to have that version of the game that I played when I was a younger lad.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I've only played the Team Manager game, and that one's fun.
Yeah.
I like the Blood Bowl Team Manager, but I haven't played any of the original stuff, so that would be really cool.
Love some Blood Bowl.
So yes, Grail Games, the holy grail of board games. What are yours? You know ours. So, send us some comments.
Yeah, and let us know what games that you really, really want and why you can't get them, or why you just haven't got around to getting them. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.